Hello, friends. Today I wanted to learn with you guys a bit about, well, what I thought was philosophy of futurism. When I first heard of it, I thought this was more or less just like a strictly progressive movement or ideas, uh, ideology, something like that. A thing that would just be about people looking positively into the future and wanting to step into the future. That's what my first interpretation just from the name Futurism was. And then I decided to look into it a bit closer. So, well, how about we learn together about what is futurism? It turns out futurism is the early 20th century movement created by Filippo Tommaso Marinetti. It's an Italian. It started in Italy and it pretty much stayed in Italy. Although there were other futurist movements that came around the globe, pretty much. Like there was a Russian futurism movement. Futurism, as it turned out, was an art movement. That's something I should have expected, given where I heard of it first. But let's get into it. What was written in the Futurist Manifesto by Filippo Thomas Marinetti? We start with this is all a preface. It's like a story talk, and it might be interesting. And I would say if you want to learn more or get this story behind it, go there and read it all. I am interested in what does futurism stand for and what I think futurism will stand for in the future as we progress into a new era of art once again. They did it right here, we do it again. So let's get started with the manifesto of futurism. We intend to sing the love of danger, the habit of energy and fearlessness. Courage, audacity, and revolt will be essential elements of our poetry. Up to now, literature has exalted a pensive immobility, ecstasy, and sleep. We intend to exalt aggressive action, a feverish insomnia, the racer's stride, the mortal leap, the punch, and the slap. We affirm that the world's magnificence has been enriched by a new beauty, the beauty of speed. A racing car whose hood is adorned with great pipes, like serpents of explosive breath. A roaring car that seems to ride on a grapeshot is more beautiful than the victory of summer phrase. We want a hymn, the man at the wheel who hurls the lance of his spirit across the earth, along the circle of its orbit. The poet must spend himself with ardor, splendor, and generosity to swell the enthusiastic fervor of the primordial elements. Except in struggle, there is no more beauty. No work without an aggressive character can be a masterpiece. Poetry must be conceived as a violent attack on unknown forces to reduce and prostrate them before man. We stand on the last promontory of the centuries. Why should we look back when what we want is to break down the mysterious doors of the impossible? Time and space died yesterday. We already live in the absolute, because we have created eternal, omnipresent speed. We will glorify war, the world's only hygiene, militarism, patriotism, the destructive gesture of freedom bringers, beautiful ideas worth dying for, and scorn for woman. We will destroy the museums, the libraries, academies of every kind. We'll fight moralism, feminism, every opportunistic or utilitarian cowardice. We will sing of great crowds, excited by work, by pleasure, and by riot. We will sing of the multicolored, polyphonic tides of revolution in the modern capitals. We will sing of the vibrant nightly fervor of arsenals and shipyards blazing with violent electric moons. Greedy railway stations that devour smoke-plumed serpents. Factories hung on clouds by by the crooked lines of their smoke. Bridges that stride the rivers like giant gymnasts, flashing in the sun with the glitter of knives. Adventurous steamers. We are adventurous streamers right here. Adventurous streamers that sniff the horizon. Deep-chested locomotives whose wheels paw the tracks like the hooves of enormous steel horses bridled by tubing, and the sleek flight of planes whose propellers chatter in the wind like banners seem to cheer like I learned to speak sometime in the future. Like an enthusiastic crowd. That is what the 11 points of futurism state. This was, as I said, created in Italy, and it pretty much stayed there as of until now. Welcome to the future, my friends. As it seems, there is a new challenger in the court. Someone who follows exactly this. In current times, we got a new group emerging out of the ground. A group that is not really known to this manifesto. They don't know what this is, but they pretty much play to the real rules of this manifesto. I want to take you all on a trip and see which group it is that actually follows these 11 points, even without knowing any of them. We live in an age that is ever-changing, especially with technology. And in this age, we got a new advancement that revolutionizes arts in particular. As AI was good for things we didn't thought it would be, while being bad at things we thought it would be good at. We thought AI would be bad at creative tasks like arts. And as it turns out, it isn't actually that bad at arts. And so it started a kind of revolutionary act to use it for the arts, especially since people try to moralize against it. Let's get into it. We intend to sing the love of danger, the habit of energy and fearlessness, and that is exactly what this man thought of when he went forward and created art pieces only made by AI and his mind and his creativity. He stepped into danger with his positivity, with his energy and fearlessness, and decided to do things that are very out of field in these times. A lot of people have blind hatred for AI or AI creations. He went forward with courage and audacity and revolt will be essential elements of our poetry. And this is exactly what happens. What the subgroup I am talking about pretty much embodies is a revolution of its own kind. And at the center of it is decentralized entertainment created with tech that is brand new. And nobody really could put any regulations on it yet. It is so new that the states did not work with it yet. With courage and audacity, we just take it. We just go forward and create things and put them out like, look at this. Look at our piece. This is what we created. And with courage, as a lot of people are actually afraid of using it, as, once again, the danger part, as it goes into the field that will get you hate. No matter what, it will get you hate. I have seen people that actually are good artists in this group that could go without AI, but AI is just a really good tool to use. And so they still go with it. They are part of the movement. Up to now, literature has exalted a pensive immobility, ecstasy and sleep. We live in a time, again, where we don't ever get a new Tolkien, we don't ever get a new Lord of the Rings. All stuff seems a bit frozen and declining. It is very immobile. Our gaming industry, for example, it takes like 4 or 5 years until the gears shift finally, and they change their strategy. And of course, this one is our consumerism in it. We intend to exalt aggressive action, a feverish insomnia, the razor stride, the mortal leap, the punch, and the slap. And this actually does also really well go with it. We see in this group that emerges currently that they go at it. They don't take a step back. They are unapologetically behind getting what they want out there in a artistic manner. It is the artistic movement that got created, and I think none of them actually are in on the joke that the creator has created. It happened naturally that these things just apply to the entire movement. We affirm that the world's magnificence has been enriched by a new beauty, the beauty of speed, a racing car whose hood is adorned with great pipes, like serpents of explosive breath. A roaring car that seems to ride on grapeshot is more beautiful than the victory of summer phrase. We are creating new styles. We are creating all of the stuff created so far is pretty in a high energy, high speed, high. It is revolutionary of its own kind. It is not what was there before. It is unlike what was there before. We want to him, the man at the wheel, who hurls the lance of his spirit across the earth along the circles of its orbit. And this is, once again, at least my interpretation of this entire stuff. It's not like our Filipino. It's not like our Filippo thought of that like that. It's just my interpretation of what he's written down. Once again, I will link this in the description, this source, and people, I would would tell you to read it yourself as well. My interpretation of this is that we are doing something that wasn't there in the arts before, in a way that wasn't there before, and we are not shy about it. We throw our spirit, the lance of our spirit, along the circuits of the orbit. We are going all the way, trying to make it known, and we defend it also. The poet must spend himself with ardor, splendor, and generosity to swell the enthusiastic fervor of the primordial elements. We went back to the roots of what makes art, and we create and play with that again. That's what it is said here, pretty much. Also, generosity. This community is only positive spiral. So this once again fits to some extent. Except in struggle, there is no more beauty. This is actually a very Nietzschean thing to say. Personally, I love this. I think in struggle and in the fight there is beauty. Actually, heroes are not made without the struggle. Yes, it might be hard at one point, and maybe that will help someone out there. I don't think anyone watches this that needs it, but maybe, you never know. The struggle you are feeling right now will lead to a story that you create that will be so beautiful. Don't give up. Fight the struggles, go on, go further, and maybe your story will become one that goes down in history. Even if it is not, you or your family or your friends or your wife at that point will see that story and will look at you like they couldn't at someone who hasn't had ever a struggle. A struggle makes character, and I don't wish it on anyone, but it is true that actually I wouldn't even say that. I don't wish it on anyone. I hope everyone can get their struggle that is to them, that they can overcome, so they can create the beauty of strength that can only be attained when you overcome struggle and when you overcome the fight. No work without an aggressive character can be a masterpiece. Again, you cannot create a hero without the fight. Poetry must be conceived as a violent attack on unknown forces to reduce and prostrate them before man. Yes, being unapologetic and just creating and being out there and challenging the status quo the people, of the snobs of art, so to say, that tell that AI is too much machine, not enough man for art. We see right here. This was written 1909. We stand in the last promontory of the centuries. 99, 2026. Why should we look back when what we want is to break down the mysterious doors of the impossible? Yes, we try to always progress on and find new things that no one has thought of before. That's why the group I will mention at the end, where I think hits every mark, that's why the crew goes entire weird. It is a chaotic bunch, and I love them for it. But it goes completely weird. And these people already know who I am talking about. I know that. I'm just a tease right here. Time and space died yesterday. We already live in the absolute because we have created eternal omnipresent speed. That was never more true than now. We live in the time of the internet, and the internet never forgets. We live in the time of the uncensorable, as we get new platforms and new ways to express ourselves. Censorship has never stopped anyone. Censorship can only make the artists more creative. A little example of this would be fables. Fables were old sayings, old stories that were written because you couldn't criticize the Pope directly. So you wrote a fable, you didn't talk about the Pope, but you did talk about the fox with the Pope hat on. And that's what censorship does. It does only make you more creative, and you create new words, or you use words that get used and make them euphemisms, so to say. Let them create ever more stupider words. We live in beyond time, in an artistic sense. There are people that, like Lord the Lecturer, who always explains words for the people of tomorrow, which is totally fine and totally cool. But I think we actually already live beyond. I don't think there is a new language arising so soon or evolving to so soon. That isn't like our youth speak is. We will glorify war, the words only hygiene, militarism, patriotism, the destructive gesture of freedom bringers, beautiful ideas worth dying for, and scorn for woman. It seems. This manifesto was a really, really manly or masculine, and I want to put brackets around it. We live in the times where people are believing once again these things: militarism, patriotism, the destructive gesture of freedom bringers, beautiful ideas worth dying for, and scorn for women, especially this. We live in a time where men and women are constantly made to be at each other's throats, and that is not healthy for society. But it did grew a lot of scorn for them, for women. This community, I'm glad, is actually not that scornful for anyone. Besides, not any person in particular, besides maybe a son, Piker. And even then, I think it's, can you really be scornful scornful for a joke? I think, now my modern interpretation for this, to bring it into the modern times, is for feminine, as the feminine is the holder of old standards. It is the holder of the cultural norms. Men create them, women hold them, and pretty much keep people in line because they are like the social gender of the two. Damn, I get cancelled for this. But this actually, we are, as a whole, as we see it so far, we are not going easy on anyone. We are not going easy on the Quangos. We have once again seen that there are people, there are things where you have to show strength against. Patriotism, a million Emilias. I say that and nothing more. Even if you are not a right wing, or something like that. You just have to see it is on the rise again. The destructive gesture of freedom bringers. This is one of the core tenets of this community I'm talking about. We are a really chaotic bunch. We are really at it at getting the freedom of expression out there. We are not talking anyone down on any of their projects. It is destructing old habits and stuff and completely bringing new things. Beautiful ideas worth dying for. We see that in the rise of Christianity and other religions. I myself am not a Christian. I've talked about that in my reactions to the Feeble Mind songs. But we are back at creating ideas worth dying for instead of enemies destructing ourselves for. We will destroy the museums, libraries, academies of every kind. This is against the people that hold the power in the industry. The museums, libraries, and academies decide if your book is worth to be put out there at the time. This is in time. This was we defeated that already with the internet. And now this is the part of the decentralization of arts and music and all this stuff. Everyone can now be part in on it with AI, with the help of AI and their own creativity. We will fight moralism. We live in a feminine time. 99. I once again repeat. We live once again in a time where everything gets moralized and politicized. And our little party, it's not a party, our little community also is there to fight the moralization of things. Feminism is an other thing, but I think we all know where this went. Every opportunistic or utilitarian cowardice. I think Feeble Mind got a few rants on that. Yes. Although opportunistic, I think I know where they come from, but we all are to some aspect opportun. Actually, no. When I think about it closer, we all are a community that, yeah, we have a few opportunistic things that we do, but in total, we are a community that expresses only themselves. We are not really going out there and doing things because it like grift, because it helps us or gives us money or something like that. I don't know how I got here back. I didn't want to talk about the community anymore. And here I am, having a rant about the... Not even a rant. We are currently learning, guys. Talking about the community again. No matter where I go, they are always there. We will sing of great crowds excited by work. If you look into this community, this is exactly what happens. By pleasure and by riot. Once again, it is the entire... We go against the mainstream. We go against what is the norm now. And when we become the norm, someone else will be the new futurist. Or we will just go against that crowd once again. Or some people will just be happy. I, for one, I will just be happy and sit there. And then go once again against the crowd. I am such a man. We will sing of the multicolored, polyphonic tides of revolution in the modern capitals. Although we are not standing in any capitals anymore, we are multinational out there singing about the community, about what we are building. We will sing for the vibrant nightly fervor of arsenals and shipyards blazing with violent electric moons, greedy railway stations that devour smoke plum serpents, factories hung on clouds. Pretty much what this was is that they were singing and creating art about industrialism. We are doing art with industrialism. We are using the power of AI to... We don't pump it out like nothing. It's still a creative work. I, for one, need long times to create my stuff if I create stuff with AI. So, what is this? who is this crowd I'm talking about, who is this new movement that actually fits really, really, really well into the manifesto of futurism without knowing of this too well. I have not seen anyone but one person talk about that so far. And the person didn't even talk about it, they mentioned it in their bio. It was Skybros. Skybros created a new futurism movement in the big 21st century. So the rug pull of the century turns out to be the Skybros themselves. Wait, it is all futurism. Always has been. Isn't it interesting how this built up without anyone actually thinking too deep about such a manifesto or about any of this? Just naturally by the people found by Skybros and put together in the community. But we put it together ourselves. Skybros just found people, and we, the viewers, decided to follow on with this movement and go on. So Lord Intellectual was right when he called it a movement, and I was wrong, as I didn't think we would be like a movement or really a movement. I thought we would just be a community for ourselves. But no, it seems we are part of the movement. The rug pull of the century. I exposed Skybros right here. So friends, I hope you stay positive. I hope you have a great day, or evening, or night, or morning. And I will see you guys in the future. Till then, bye bye.